Hi everyone. Hi, welcome to Open Learning's fourth masterclass on how to create a welcoming course homepage. My name's Nupur.
And my name is Eikris. Thank you guys for joining us. We're so glad to have you tuning in.
We're learning designers here at Open Learning in Sydney, and we like creating courses that are welcoming for students and student-centric, that engage students. If you're familiar with the platform, if you've seen or joined or taken any courses on the platform, you'll know what I'm talking about. If you're entirely new, this will be a great induction for you to see what an open learning course looks like and how you can create the front page of the course.
So a critical component of creating, a great social experience is the homepage. This is where you want to, get the ball rolling, get students interacting, and make a fun, enjoyable experience.
That's right. Before we actually get into showing you some real live examples from real courses that are running on Open Learning, and then we'll be taking you to through actually building one such homepage. We'd love for you to introduce yourself in the chat section that's on there right off the video. If you could tell us your name, where you're from, what you do. Because our user base is quite international. We've got teachers from across the world who create courses every day, and it's great to get to know where people are from. Maybe we can wait for a few people to join us and introduce themselves. Meanwhile, we could just give you a little brief introduction about what Open Learning is. For those of you who are not very familiar with the platform, it's a free platform.
For course creators, anyone can sign in and create a course. We've got a lot of different tools that you can use to create a social interactive experience. You can create your own profile, comment and like.
Yes, so it's got elements of social media, but combined with engaging content and learning activities that are relevant, that tap into forms of deeper learning and that are not surface learning, which is great. And that's the kind of course we love to design.
Cool. We've got someone tuning in called Mark, maths teacher.
Hi,
Hello.
Mark.
So where are you tuning in from?
We're waiting for Mark to reply where he's from. Hi, Mark.
And if there is anyone else who are new to this webinar, let us know where you're from. We'd love to know which part of the world you're watching.
Yeah, and I hope you can see us and hear us all right. If you have any technical difficulties or any other issues, just leave a message in the chat. I'd like to mention that the team will also be live in the chat to answer any questions you might have, including Brooke Hahn, who's our Chief Learning Officer. She might also pop in the chat to answer some of your questions. So just feel free to just type in any questions you have. We'll be having a Q&A session at the end of the webinar, which will be in about maybe another 30 minutes. We'll have a Q&A session. So if you have any questions, you can type them out or you can wait for the Q&A. That depends on you. If you have questions about setting up a homepage or about the platform in general, now's the time. We're live and we're ready to answer. Hi, Mark, you're from Sydney. All right, so that's somewhere.
Cool. Did you enjoy Melbourne Cup Day?
Oh, that's right, isn't it Melbourne Cup
That was today, yeah.
Was it today? Maybe it's still going on. I wonder.
Yeah, I'm not sure actually. The race could be going. It's the race that stops the nation.
Yeah. For those of you not familiar with Melbourne Cup, it's a sort of a national big day holiday.
Yeah, one of the biggest horse racing, I don't know what you call them, races.
Horse racing races, yes, pretty much. In Australia. So that's a big day for fellow Aussies who might be watching.
An opportunity to get dressed up and wear one of those fancy hats.
Oh yeah, one of those things with the, what do you call them?
You can have all sorts of things. You can have feathers, flowers.
Yeah, if you're into
crazy,
that sort of thing.
Crazy stuff.
All right, that's great. Quite a few people have joined us now. Shall we get straight into it?
Yeah, sure.
All right. What we might be doing is we'll share our screen so you can see, we'll take you through some of the homepage examples from courses that are live on OpenLearning. I'm just going to do that now. So, yes.
There we go.
Yeah.
So we'll just, in a moment, share our screen. Where did it go?
Yeah, all right. Where did it go? Let me just try again. Having a bit of trouble finding the screen I want to share. This is bizarre because it's right here. All right.
Okay, for some reason it doesn't want us to share our screen, so just give us a couple of minutes.
Where's the actual thing? Yep. Google Hangouts.
Just click Chrome, apparently. Oh, there we go.
Oh, yeah. Yes,
Awesome.
got it, finally.
Yeah, so this is, can you guys see that now?
I hope everyone can see our screen. Any issues, please let us know in the comments.
Awesome, excellent.
All right. So this is our first example that we'd like to share with you of a great homepage on OpenLearning.
Yeah.
Some of you may have already seen or even taken this course. It is a free and open MOOC by one of our learning designers.
Yep, so Melinda created this course. It's to design a world-class course using OpenLearning. As you can see, it's not too complicated in terms of like the sort of features. There's, a welcome message, a short sentence saying, we'd love to have you here.
Yeah.
We appreciate you taking the course. We value your presence, and then a short, introduction about what the course is about.
Yeah.
I
like that the learning designers introduced the learning objectives for the course as well. It's a great and useful thing for students who might join your course and see the learning objectives so they know what to expect in the course, what is expected of them. And also every time they log on to the course and enter your course, that is what they see to remind themselves of the learning objectives and to kind of orient themselves, which is great.
Yeah. So that sort of information you'll also have on the landing page, but once a student has joined the course, the homepage is what they'll see from now on, and so it's just a good reminder to know, what to expect, the sort of things that you'll be doing, and just ease students into what's to come.
Yes, that's right. The homepage, just to throw it in there, is not to be confused with the course's landing page, which is the promotional information that you present to your students before they join the course. That is the page where you want your students to feel enticed enough to join the course. And once they press the join button, is when they land on this page. So this is literally your chance to make the first impression. And we have to make the first impression count, right?
And sort of set the scene for the rest of your course.
Exactly. So a great homepage, basically, as you see, just contains of a few simple elements. It consists of a sort of a pattern, as you might see in the rest of our examples. It's a welcome message. It's an idea of what students can expect in the course. It might or might not be learning objectives, though it's great to have them. And followed by...
it keeps it quite brief, it's not too long.
Yes.
There's not a lot of reading. It breaks it down,
Exactly. You don't want information overload on your homepage.
Exactly.
It's concise but informative, and supported by any imagery that you might think is relevant and could not be too much, of course. And if you wanted to, you could even have an introductory video on the homepage. Like, that's entirely up to you. You don't have to go high budget with just the homepage. It can be as simple as you want. After the information actually comes the fun bit.
Yes. So this is where you would have an icebreaker. So an icebreaker is a short, easy activity that you typically have at the beginning of the course. This is an opportunity for students to either get to know each other, just interact, maybe even give a bit of a teaser about what the course is about. Yeah, there's all sorts of ways that you can, build this icebreaker.
Yes, there are so many different ways to build an icebreaker, and I feel like we've all done icebreakers and introduction activities in trainings and workshops in schools and universities, and there are lots of different ways to do that online as well. For instance, this one activity is simply saying hello and making others guess where in the world you are using clues. So if you read the instructions, you'd see that you're supposed to share 3 clues as to where in the world you live, and one of them should be a picture clue, and other students can sort of guess where that location is.
Yep. So, and just a reminder, this course is, open for anyone in the world to join. So this is a great icebreaker to start off with, because you'll have students from, from Australia, from Malaysia. We don't know. So this is
exactly, especially for courses that are open and public, right? Because their audience might be international, and it's so exciting to know where other, your peers are from. Did you say, Eikris, that you actually did this activity?
Yeah, I did actually. When I first joined OpenLearning, this is one of the first courses that I did, and I didn't know much about online social learning. I was quite new to it, but this was very inspiring. Showed me a new way of connecting with others online.
Yeah, that's great.
Before getting into like the nitty-gritty stuff.
Right.
This is a fun way to start a course.
That's right. So did you actually write 2 clues, and one of the and third clue was a picture clue? Did you do that thing?
I think so. You might have to scroll
a bit more
all the way down.
That's true. There's been a lot of students.
Yeah, but I think they guessed it pretty easily.
Yeah, and I imagine what would have been more fun would be trying to guess others.
Yeah, actually, I spent more time just trying to guess. I'm not the best at geography, but
Yeah, that's great. I feel like that's actually a great activity. And for those of you watching, you can totally steal this idea. I mean, don't feel like it's somebody else's. It's a great idea that you can incorporate in your own courses. Get students to guess where in the world they are. It's great because it not only gets students to interact and share themselves, it also gets others to reply and comment and like and really talk to someone else in the course as the first thing, and immediately start getting to know someone else.
Yeah, so the good thing about this icebreaker activity is that, there are multiple layers of interaction. So not only are they interacting with the platform by, commenting and sharing a picture, they also get to interact with others, and that can start a great conversation. Like a lot of these images, I don't know where they are, but it makes me want to go there. So
that's true. That is true. And you'd be so motivated to try and guess, or if not, then ask them where they're from.
Yeah, I think that one's, I would say that one's England. What do you think?
Yeah, it looks like an English countryside.
Or Ireland.
Maybe. Yeah, well, we could spend all day trying to guess.
We could.
All right, so that was one example of a good, simple homepage in an open learning course. Let's take you through another such example. I've got it open right here in another tab. Here's a course on a very different subject.
Yep, subsurface utility engineering.
All right, and whoever, if you can figure out what that means, please let us know in the comments.
I think it's basically everything underground, pipes, cables.
Dungeons.
Oh, maybe.
Maybe. All right, so this course is basically another, this homepage is another simple homepage. It starts with a really nice graphic.
Yeah, very nice visual.
Yeah. It immediately grabs your attention. It's a great look and feel. And then the text is really simple. It's divided into 3 sections. What is the course, or what is the topic? Some key course information divided in bullet points that stand out, which are actually the course outcomes or the learning outcomes for the course.
Yeah, because ultimately when you do take a course, you kind of want to know what you'll be able to achieve at the end.
Yes.
So this is kind of, yeah, foreshadowing that.
Yes.
Which is, yeah, more supportive, more support, for students taking the course.
Yeah, that's great. The other section that the learning designer here has included is a little snippet on getting around the course, how to navigate in the course, which is especially useful for new students or students who have never been on the platform before. And you might have those students, and it's great to think and just provide some information about how to get around, that your course consists of so-and-so modules and topics, anything that you might feel that students would like to know at the beginning. After that, if I just scroll down a bit, here's another activity on what monuments and buildings do you admire? And that is quite relevant to this topic and this audience, which is basically civil engineers. And I'm pretty sure civil engineers who'd be logging onto this course would definitely have monuments and buildings they admire, and they would love to share that. In fact, this activity is also about sharing 3 clues and getting others to guess their favorite building, which is great because it's easy and simple to share your favorite thing.
Mm-hmm. You can apply this to anything, to any
really.
topic, really.
Yeah, but if you give people clues and get them to kind of guess, it's really rapport building right from the very beginning, and it literally breaks the ice between people, which is the entire aim for.
Yeah, so one of the big challenges of online learning is that you don't get to see, your classmates.
Yes.
So it's hard to, build those relationships if there isn't like a fun game sort of activity to begin with. And then this is, the more that they share from the very beginning, the more likely that they'll share throughout the course and, keep that sort of interaction going and, set that expectation for the rest of the course.
Yes, that's true. And it gets them to be at ease, doesn't it? So that's the best part about a great homepage activity. And it can be as simple as you like. These examples are quite simple. They just share your favorite thing, get somebody else to guess it. It's it's a simple formula, can be applied to nearly any topic. It doesn't have to be an engineering course. It doesn't have to be a biology course. It could be anything, really. Well, before we move on to how to actually build such a page, we'd like to show you one more. Shall we do that? One last example. And here's one on, like I said, home pages can be exciting for
kiteboarding,
anything. And this one's kiteboarding, yeah.
That's very cool, yeah. I really like the image. So this time we've got a short welcome message. It's superimposed on the image instead, which you can do as well.
Yes. It's quite flexible, whatever way you want to, present welcome message. And these examples are actually trying to show that your homepage does not have to be high budget. It doesn't have to have a welcome video that's high production value that takes you hours to do it. It can be really simple. and anybody can do it.
Yeah, so this one is more simple than the others, but I think it has the same effect. It's got a great look and feel. It's quite welcoming. If you look at the banner, I think it's the welcome banner. I like it because it's very, aspirational. It's kind of like, at the end of this course, hopefully that's what you can do.
Yes, that's
right.
Kiteboarding. Kiteboarding is this extreme sport. I'm not sure I'd recommend, but for those of you who are adrenaline junkies and stuff, maybe some of you might even have tried kiteboarding. Well, yes.
Not for everyone, but I'm sure it's fun and great.
Yes. So for a course like this, where people who might join the course would be really passionate about the sport, who'd love to do it, who'd love to learn more, a great icebreaker for them would be to share a memorable kiteboarding experience, including a photograph of them doing it. Because when you do an extreme sport, you love sharing photographs. So we've kind of tried to tap into that motivation right here and get them to kickstart community interaction by sharing a photograph and a memorable experience, which is...
Yeah. And it's also an opportunity for, students to start establishing their identity online because, you don't get to see them face to face. You don't know who they are unless, you share personal experiences. This is a way of doing that. Getting to know what sort of, experiences they've had, how long they've been kiteboarding for, what they love about kiteboarding the most.
Yeah, some of the comments on the page are actually about people who love it. That's great. So that's the kind of vibe that you can set or model in your course right from the very beginning. And it sets the tone for the rest of the course right till the very end, which is great.
And if other users can see something that they can relate to, they can comment or like the post and say, oh my God, me too, I love doing that, or I also kiteboard in that location.
Yes.
We can totally
together. Yes, actually, yeah. For courses that are actually restricted in the location or the city or the country, it is great to form a network of people who can meet together. Online learning, I think, doesn't have to be isolated.
Yeah, nor does it have to be limited to, being online. This is like a good sort of starting point.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. So that's some of the examples from courses that are currently running on OpenLearning. There were some different kinds of topics, but our aim was to show you that you can have welcoming, inviting homepages and icebreaker activities for any kind of course. It doesn't have to be limited to casual lifestyle courses. They can be engineering courses, they can be physics courses, and you can still have a nice icebreaker. In fact, I remember one of the engineering courses on OpenLearning that had a introduce yourself using a code activity.
Yes, that was an interesting one.
That was interesting, and it was so fun because the students thought up a code and introduced themselves, their names and what they do using that code, and other people had to try and decode that.
Yeah, and they did surprisingly well.
They did too.
I didn't know that there were so many different types of coding available.
Yes, that's right. And that was a really smart way to take something that the students would be interested in or might be learning about and taking that and forming an introduction activity using that.
So that's an example of something that's, sort of relevant, or that is relevant to the topic, but it doesn't have to be. You can also just do a simple icebreaker, introduce yourself, what do you want to achieve from this course?
That's true.
Because that's a great way to, share, your interest. It's a way to connect.
Motivations to do the course.
Exactly. And then you can find like-minded people on there.
Yes.
I did a really great writing course with a very simple icebreaker that got us to introduce ourselves, what are our perceived strengths and weaknesses in writing, and then you can see that you're not the only one struggling with this, or you're not the only one wanting to learn more about this. And that was, the start of, good conversations, and encouraged us to share throughout the course.
Yeah, that's excellent. And that's the sort of things you can incorporate in your courses as well. Great. So shall we try and create
our own course?
Our own homepage?
Yes.
We've created a course shell beforehand. And voila.
Storytelling basics.
Yes, we thought about a course that we both would be interested in, and we came up with this idea. It's not a real course. It's just a course where we'll be demoing how to create a welcoming homepage, and you can join the course. We'll be sharing a link in the YouTube description and also the chat, and you can click on the course and join it right now, and you can watch the homepage being created in action if you like. So when you actually create a new course on OpenLearning, when you create a course shell from scratch, you are presented with this homepage that is the default homepage that we've provided some pointers
like a
or
template
starters
as well.
That's right. It's more like a template. And there's some tips on there. There's some links to how-to pages on there for people who have never edited a page on OpenLearning before. It's quite simple. You click on it, it'll take you on a new screen, and you can see how to edit a page. It's basically clicking on this view and edit bar at the top that you see up here. This is only visible to course admins or course creators, not to your students, so only you can edit the course. And when you click on edit, you can see that the page is divided into, we call them widgets, and these are basically text widgets.
Mm-hmm.
And once you're done reading through the tips that we provided, you can simply remove the text box here. Yes, please.
Yep. So you don't have to follow this template that we've provided. You can, you can delete all these widgets and, create your own sort of structure.
Exactly. It's more like a single pointer on how to create a homepage, but you can literally have any combination of blocks or widgets on there, whether they be videos or texts or images. I think we'll retain the welcome message on the top.
Mm-hmm.
We hope you have a wonderful time and learn a lot about storytelling. All right, there's a section on how to provide, on course information that you can provide. I'm going to use that to add my course outcomes. Basically, course outcomes are pointers for students on what they can expect to achieve by the end of this course. And that's, so by the end of this course, this fake course, by the way, students might be able to do things like outline and plan their story, select and justify what format they want to use, something, trying to find an icon to put in there. Find a your icon.
Are those McDonald's fries?
They might be. There was a fries icon. I might just add any icon. Icons and other visuals are basically to provide some enrichment, some break from the monotony of text, if you will.
Yeah, bullet points, they're not always the most appealing. I mean, they work, but yeah, it's nice to have a pop of color.
Yes, exactly. All right, so I've got some course outcomes in place. By the end of this course, you'll be able to do so and so and so and so. And do you want to retain this block? Getting around?
Yeah, for now, I think.
All right. That's our thing. And maybe we can move on to creating so that's the basic structure of this homepage.
Very basic. So you've got a welcome title, a nice message for students welcoming them into the course.
We can
We
add
can
some,
also some
nice
information just to give the course a bit of context. Why are we learning about storytelling?
Yes. It's good for it's if you could put yourself in your student's shoes, and if you were yourself kind of taking a course, it's the information that you would like to do on there, to read on there. I'm just adding a little image on the side to make it look interesting and attention grabby. Because
that's a good one.
Yeah, I really like that image. So this is the first thing that they're seeing in your course, and like I mentioned earlier, this is your chance to make the first impression count. And the tone that you set on here does speak to your reputation as a course facilitator as well.
It shapes the environment. You want to be supportive, and you want to guide the students into the course. I like what you've got there. You've got like a question that invites them to,
like a thought-provoking question, or a fun fact, really. Or a really hard-hitting, attention-grabbing statistic. Anything really to hook your students. All right, now that my introduction and my outcomes and a little bit of how to get around is set up, we can add another text widget from here at the bottom. There you go. This little bar on the side is not a little bar; it's a really big bar. But it's all the widgets that you can use. Here's a drop down that you can use to narrow down what kind of widgets you'd like. But the content one, the core ones, are basically your text ones and your videos and your shares. But for the home page, we're just going really simple. We're going with the text, and I'm going to click on that to edit. I should have probably mentioned this earlier. When you click on edit and you see this little thing, it's basically your simple, basic word processor tools. Your bold, italic, underlines, alignments, adding images and medias and formatting, the usual stuff that you'd find in any word processor, really. I'm going to use the formats and go to special to create a little box that we like to use for to really highlight a learning activity on a page. I'm going to add some.
So what we're creating right now is our icebreaker activity. So because this course is about storytelling, we thought we'd do something related to stories.
Yes, as one does. So we thought we'd do a guess that story kind of activity, where
I don't know if you've played that game where you sort of describe a story without
giving away the title.
So you can either do it really well or you could do it pretty badly.
Like give a bad explanation for something and somebody else has to guess what you're talking about. That's a really fun one. I've done it on, I've played that game on the internet a few times. It's fun. So we thought we'd get that game, and because it's a course on storytelling, so it's sort of relevant, and the audience for this course might be super interested in this sort of a thing.
Relevant but fun, I think. This is a good way of starting the course.
Yes, that's true. That is key. Relevant but fun. So what we thought we'd do in this activity is basically write up a description of a story and get others to guess what that story might be. And maybe let's put that to work. Let's put that to practice and
Do you want me to
do a thing? Yes. Eikris
do a thing?
Eikris has a story she'd like to share.
Yeah, let's see if you guys can guess correctly. What
and if this link has been shared with you guys, you can go in there, have a look at the homepage, and also leave us a comment at the bottom of this page where you're actually trying to play that game, and we can try and guess, and others can try and guess too. It's worthwhile mentioning that the comments section is a feature that is present on each and every page in your course on OpenLearning. And it's a great tool to for learning activities, to receive and provide feedback, and so on.
Okay, I think I've got one. I'm just currently writing it in the comments. So big green man who lives alone finds
I think I know what story that is.
Furry, four-legged companion that talks a lot.
Oops.
And together they save a princess to bring her to, let's say, a short, angry man. All right, so I'm going to post that
weirdly
comment.
Twisted.
Yeah, it's weird when you describe it very simplistically.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that it's, a story.
If I refresh the page, maybe I can see Eikris's comment on there. And if you can, just go in the course and you'll be able to see the page and the comments thread, and you can comment and try and guess what Eikris's story is. Big green man who lives alone finds a furry four-legged companion that talks a lot. Together they save a princess to bring her to a short, angry man. Yes, definitely twisted. And I think I know what the story is, but I won't guess.
Okay.
I think I don't know. I don't want to make a fool of myself by guessing the wrong thing.
It is a bit of an iconic movie, I must say.
Okay. Is it Shrek?
It might be.
It might be. All right. So basically, guys, this was an idea. This was one of the many ways that you can set up your course homepage, and this was one of the many different kinds of icebreaker activities that you can have. Like we said, it doesn't have to be extremely topic relevant, but it has to be something low barrier that everybody can participate in. Yes.
They can contribute without feeling scared that they say the wrong thing, because there are no right or wrong answers with icebreakers. It's all about just having fun.
Yes. Yeah. All right. So, well, that was our how-to segment, and let me give it a refresh to see if anybody's been on here.
Definitely Shrek. Yeah,
Shrek. Okay, that's great. Phyllis Gaddis. All right, that's a
great name.
All right. I think we can move on to our next segment, which is the question and answer section. If you guys have any questions, now's the time. And I think I can go back to
our faces.
Back to our faces.
Hello.
Can we check if we have any questions up here? Yes. There's a few questions. All right. A few of them are from Faye Patel. Hi, Faye Patel.
Hello.
We've met before in a live webinar. It's nice to have you again. So the first question that Faye asks is, are there any conventions for formal and informal homepages, or no special recommendations? And Brooke, who's our Chief Learning Officer, has been there and has tried to respond to Faye. And she says that we recommend what we recommend is same for all, but if you're part of an institution or university, they might have requirements that you can check. That is correct. If your course is part of a broader university or a portal, or an organization, you might want to check any requirements that you want to cover on the homepage itself. And as for being conventional or formal or informal, that's entirely up to you.
I think the basic structure works, which we've looked at with these existing homepages. So a nice, welcome message to start off with, that could be, simply through, you could have an image or a video if you'd like. I think something that welcomes the students into the course.
We won't recommend, we won't say it's a formula. It's more like elements that you can incorporate in any way you like. So that's pretty much it.
And depending on the audience of your course, you might need to give, it's a good idea to give a brief description of what the course is about. If they're new to the topic, maybe a short, sentence or two. Also, what we've already looked at, learning outcomes, it's a good idea to have that on the course homepage as well. Breakers, I think. You don't have to have them, but it's great to have them, especially if you want to, create that social experience.
And once you've created a course where your students come in there and start interacting, start sharing, you can really never go back. That's the best feeling for a course facilitator. It's great to see that sort of immediate interaction as well. All right. What's the next question?
Cool. Next question. So we've got another one from Faye Patel. Any advice about colors and font for the homepage? Sorry if you've already covered this.
No,
any advice?
That's a great question. Font and colors, basically, the only advice we'd like to provide is to not have it too loud or too much of a sensory overload, to keep it. And if you have any branding guidelines from the institution or organization that you work for, it'd be great to incorporate that branding so you're sort of in line with that.
And as for the font, you want something that is, easy to read.
Pretty much.
You don't want to have like cursive or fancy.
No, as long as your text is legible and again, not too loud, you're probably fine. All right, what's the next question? What sorts of images do you think are a good idea on the homepage? That's a good question.
So sorts of images that are good on the homepage. It depends on what sort of, effect you're going for. If you want to be a bit playful, then, a funny image. We had a great one before of, someone sticking his head into the washing machine. We didn't use it this time, but a quirky image is nice. It depends on
like whatever
the audience
effect
and the type of course that you're creating. If this is for a university course, a formal course, you might want to just check with them to see where
what the style guide
the boundary is
or might not allow for. That's right. And it can be relevant to your course topic. It doesn't have to be directly relevant, but it can be loosely relevant so that your students can sort of relate to that imagery.
Cool. I hope that answered.
Yeah, I hope so.
So the next question: how do you come up with ideas for a good icebreaker activity? Good question.
That is true, and it's not always. It doesn't always come to you, but if you were to place yourself in the shoes of a student who was going to do your course, you could probably think of what might be a fun way.
Could think, what would I want to do if I was in this course, or how would I want to start off this course, or how would I want to, get to know, the students in this community.
Maybe a great time to mention this is that we've got a Facebook group consisting of like-minded learning designers, including the learning designers here at OpenLearning. And if you're ever out of ideas or need more ideas, that is the space you want to be at.
Comment. I actually wrote a question on there, so if you want to reply to me, you can do that.
The link to the Facebook group is actually in the YouTube description. It's called the Open Learning Hub. It's free and available to join. It's a Facebook group with a lot of learning designers and a lot of discussion on course creation. It's not open learning specific. It is also, it goes above and beyond to general course design principles as well.
Yeah, so maybe we can share some icebreaker activities on there that we've already done. But just going back to that question, yeah, I think sometimes it takes a bit of risk. You know, you can have an idea that is kind of out of the box, but, you know, there's no reason why it shouldn't work online as well.
Yes. And a great way to kind of trial it is by going into the comments section or whatever form you're doing it yourself, to actually do it yourself, see if you think your students would like to do it. Is it low barrier enough, or does it require prior knowledge or prior preparation to do it?
And maybe use the topic as inspiration as well. So maybe get them to do a thing that is, you know, closely related to what they're learning about. So I'll give you the example of one of the courses that I designed. So it was about business networking. So I thought, you know, what great way to break the ice than to, you know, sort of set up a scenario or a role play where they have to imagine that they're, you know, in a particular place. You know, what would they be doing and how would they
I remember that one.
Introduce themselves. So yeah, you can think about the topic, maybe do something that's relevant. Yeah, so that was a fun one. I had people, you know, write, I'm standing by the hot dog stand, waiting for someone to say hello to me. And then, you know, that was a chance for someone else to, you know, come in, comment, you know, hello, my name is da-da-da-da. I've just gotten, you know, a drink from the...
That's great.
Drink stand.
So you're saying a role play can also be a great...
yeah, you can do a role play.
Activity for the first, for your homepage. Yeah. That could be cool. All right, shall we move on to the next question?
Yep. So the next question is, can you explain the key elements for a good homepage? So we've gone through a couple of them. Maybe we can just break down exactly what that is. We've also got our checklist as well.
Oh, that's right. It's so exciting. It's an exclusive checklist that we've created in-house for you, and we'll be sharing that after the webinar. So keep an eye out on your inbox, and you'll receive an email with a handy checklist containing these very elements. But for those of you live, the elements we try to cover on an Open Learning homepage, and in no way is it a formula. The combination, the way that you use the element is entirely your own. But the elements themselves are a welcome message, followed by a brief course introduction, information,
description,
learning objectives or course outcomes.
So this is what you want students to, you know, either achieve by the end of this course, or, you know, the sorts of activities that you want them to do.
Yes, followed by an introductory activity that helps break the ice in your course community.
Cool. We've still got time for more questions. Yeah,
I think we can do another.
Okay.
How do I know if my icebreaker is any good? I think Brooke's gone in and tried to answer that. One indicator is that if it feels fun for you, you know that it will be fun for your students as well.
Yeah, good. What does good mean? You know, as long as students are, you know, participating, you might not see the effects of an icebreaker straight away, but it, you know, would have a positive effect, you know, for your course. Yeah, you know, encourages, you know, students to share.
Yeah. That's basically kind of putting yourself in your students' shoes.
Yeah.
Which is...
But if there's activity,
it's a great
I think
mantra to go by.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I think that is the end of the questions we received for now. If you have any more questions for us, please head to Facebook and join the OpenLearning Hub group. And Eikris and I are part of that group, and so are the other learning designers in our team, both from Malaysia and Sydney. And we'd love to discuss and share,
exchange ideas. Yeah,
I mean, we can totally exchange notes on.
Exactly, we're still learning. Like, this is, we're not experts. Like,
yes,
there's always
we'd love to share our ideas and also receive yours. And if you have any resources or ideas on what you do on a course homepage, we'd love to hear from you. Cool. Guys, I think that's it from us today. It was lovely having everybody. Thank you for joining us despite it being Melbourne Cup Day. And
we'll see you next month. I think Nick might be coming back.
Well, yes, Nick's got a really sad story. His cat.
He's looking after his cat. His cat's not
who's really
doing
well,
sick. But yeah.
But that's fine. All right, guys, thank you. Thank you so much for having us. And we'll see you next time. Keep an eye out for our next webinar, which will be the first Tuesday of December. And it'll be another exciting topic on how to do something awesome on OpenLearning.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
See ya.
See ya.